overwhelming demand, the Summer of '99 Tour returns. July 27th, FedEx Forum. With special guests 3 doors down. And Mammoth WVH. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Creed returns, the Summer of '99 Tour.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals takes it straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
The other thing that came out this week that we were talking about innovation and Nike and all that, they dropped these $900 hyper boots. That
900.
I mean, they're a recovery shoe apparently that you wear after sports, whatever.
Who's buying it? Because all the athletes that we see, they're gonna get seated this. So who's gonna actually pay $900 for this?
The Sneak Fest Show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
Yesterday was the talk of the town. It was a cow on the side of the road.
Do you live close to a movie theater? I'm just curious because maybe the cow was trying to go to the movies.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Live from the Built Ford Tough studio at FedEx Forum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by OrthoSouth, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
All right, I'm here. My name is Gary Parrish. I'm speaking to you from the Built Ford Tough studio, FedEx Forum. We're in downtown Memphis. Bennett Doyle is right there producing the program. Glad he's with me. Glad you're with me. Hope you're getting through the day best you can. And I hope you enjoy traditional rivalries as much as I do, because we got one getting renewed come December. It's Memphis-Louisville in the sport of men's basketball. I dig it. We'll talk about it momentarily. First, so quickly, let me set today's schedule for you in the next segment, about 20 minutes. Jessica Benson is going to join me. She, of course, is the host of the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt. Sometimes without CJ Hurt, sometimes with Bennett Doyle, sometimes by herself.
Yeah.
Sometimes by herself. We'll talk to Jess about what it's like to open a show by yourself. We'll do that in the next segment. Finish talking to her, take a break, come back, do 5 more things you need to know. At which point we're going to discuss 5 previously undiscussed stories. Among them, Bill Belichick's 24-year-old girlfriend, Jordan Hudson, has been banned from North Carolina's football facility, according to Pablo Torre on his podcast this morning. Folks at North Carolina are disputing the report. Either way, it's fun to talk about, so we'll do that in about 40 minutes. Rafael Devers continues to be a difficult employee for the Boston Red Sox. They asked him to play first base. He said no. He's literally refusing to even consider changing positions again because of an injured teammate. I'll walk you through that situation a little later on in the show. New details have emerged connected to the evidence against Brian Koberger, who, of course, is charged with stabbing 4 Idaho students to death back in November 2022. The details are not good for Brian Koberger. I can tell you that much right now.
Okay.
I'll share them with you in just a bit. Boxing legend Manny Pacquiao is coming out of retirement again to fight in Las Vegas this summer. Sounds like somebody needs a paycheck. We'll discuss that in the second hour. And we are now living in a world where we have an American Pope for the first time.
Let's go.
Let's go. It's a Villanova alum, which means you realize I wasn't too far off yesterday when I wondered if the next Pope could be Jalen Brunson.
That's pretty wild. I forgot about that. You basically knew who the new Pope was going to be.
I had it narrowed down to a specific Big East institution. I had it narrowed down.
Yeah.
People didn't even have it narrowed down to a country, Bennett.
No.
This time yesterday, people were wondering, what country will the next pope be from? The Philippines? Italy? People didn't even know the country.
Right.
I nailed specifically the Big East institution. I had the wrong name. I had Jalen Brunson instead of this fella.
Still.
Pope Leo. But I was pretty close.
Yeah.
We'll spend a few minutes on that historic development during a segment we call 5 More Things You Need to Know. Then we'll eventually do GP's Carry Out and we'll call it a day. So that's the rundown. We got a lot to get to. But I did want to start with some college basketball scheduling news because we got a fun development connected to the University of Memphis on Thursday afternoon. Specifically, that Penny Hardaway and the Tigers have reached an agreement on a 6-year deal with Pat Kelsey and the University of Louisville. It's a rivalry renewed. Big Bet Bennett, are you old enough to remember the Memphis-Louisville rivalry? On a scale of 1 to 7, how much do you hate Purvis Ellison?
Okay, so do I remember it? Yes. So it's I was born in 86, so it was a little after, when it really started and became huge in the early mid 80s. I'm a little bit after that, but I grew up hating Louisville because of that. You know what I mean?
You were born in the same year where the biggest enemy in my own personal life was never nervous Purvis Ellison.
Yeah. So
you were born, and I was hating Purvis. On the moment you were born, I was probably sitting around somewhere going, I hate Purvis Ellison so much.
I probably hated, Francisco Garcia more.
Yes.
But no, I mean, it carried over for a long, long time. There was still, even in the early 2000s, as recent as the early 2000s, we hated Louisville.
I grew up hating Louisville.
Yeah.
I grew up hating Louisville. I love that you mentioned Francisco Garcia.
Uh-huh.
One of my favorite stories that just pops into my head anytime I hear the words Francisco Garcia. I'm the Memphis beat writer, Memphis, Louisville, at Freedom Hall. This is a time where Memphis wasn't chartering every flight. So we were literally at the Louisville airport waiting to board a Delta flight back home. And I'm just sitting with the Memphis basketball team. It feels like it was a Saturday afternoon game and we were flying home on a Saturday night. And I'm just sitting in the air. Imagine just sitting in the airport, but you're sitting with Antonio Burks after a Memphis-Louisville game.
My favorite Tiger ever.
One of my favorite Tigers ever.
My favorite Tiger
I love
ever. Yep.
Antonio Burks.
Yep.
Like I would love to see him and just give him a hug. I love Antonio Burks. So I'm sitting with Antonio Burks, and he had gotten a technical foul during the game for a back and forth with Francisco Garcia. He'd clearly gotten into it with Francisco Garcia, but it wasn't clear what it was about. And it resulted in technical fouls, maybe double technicals, I'm not sure. But I'm sitting there in the airport with Antonio Burks. And I said, so, hey, what happened with you and Francisco Garcia when the technicals and all that stuff? And he's like, off the record? I said, yeah, off the record, whatever. We're sitting in the airport. He's like, I called him a bitch.
That'll do it.
And I said, why did you call him a bitch? I said, why did you call him a bitch? I swear to God, this is what Antonio Burks said. Because he's a bitch.
I felt the same.
Bennett knows how Antonio Burks felt in that moment. Francisco Garcia was kind of a bitch.
Oh, wow.
He had bitch tendencies. This is the rivalry Memphians of my age group, quite literally grew up with. Memphis, Louisville, Mid-South Coliseum, Freedom Hall, Dana Kirk, Denny Crum, Keith Lee, Purvis Ellison. The two programs have played 90 games and been colleagues in 4 different conferences. Missouri Valley, Metro, that's where I was brought into it for real, CUSA, and the AAC. But they haven't been in the same league since 2014. They haven't played since 2017, but that's going to change this upcoming season. Tigers and Cardinals going to meet at the Yum Center on December 13th. 2025, and then they will play at FedEx Forum in the following year, and the dates and locations of the subsequent 4 games will be determined at a later date.
Okay.
But this is what we know. Memphis and Louisville are going to play each other annually for the next 6 years. Can you dig it?
I love it. I mean, it just goes back to what we've kind of been talking about recently. And, we brought up Rick Barnes' comments when their Big Orange Caravan was in town about not doing the Tennessee-Memphis series. I think in this new era of college sports, in these big leagues and these big brands, and we tend to not think about the fans as much. And this is for the fans. Like this is what it's all about. Like it's why I bang the drum about why that Memphis Tennessee series should be played. And this is very similar. Like there is a lot of passion there. The old heads are going to love this game.
Oh, yeah.
And with playing a series of 6 games, you've really got a chance to bring back some of those feelings. You've got a chance to rebuild this rivalry, and then the hope is that it goes so great over these next 6 seasons that they say, well, how can we not play this? This is one of the great rivalries in college basketball.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope so. It is something that I grew up with, and it doesn't mean that things can't change, but it is fun to have that to reminisce about. And everybody who grew up in this area of a certain age is going to have a Memphis-Louisville memory. Like if you're even older than I, you might be able to go all the way back to 1971 where Fred Horton famously throws a chair during a game. And if you're a little younger, I think you'd probably remember this.
Yeah, this is the one.
The 2005 Conference USA Championship game on a Saturday morning inside FedEx Forum. Darius Washington misses the 2 free throws. That was still to this day, I believe, the hardest sports thing I've ever watched in person. That doesn't include devastating injury or serious medical scare. Like if you've ever watched a basketball player have a cardiac arrest on a court or something crazy like that, then yeah, a young man missing free throws is not that big of a deal. But if you can take all the devastating injury, scary medical stuff off the table and just be like, you just felt sick for a person under these very specific set of circumstances. I don't know that I've ever, still to this day, experienced something in person as painful to watch, non-injury, non-medical scare category, as Darius Washington missing those free throws.
I can remember it vividly. I wasn't at the game. Me and my dad were watching it, and when he fell to his knees, I'm pretty sure I fell to my knees. It was just devastating because they had not had a a great year. They were fighting to get in the NCAA tournament. It was the championship game.
Craziest year.
Yeah, it was a wild season. But you have this moment. And, during that time, Memphis basketball is huge in the city in 2005, right? It's massive. And you have this moment where you're there and you get a chance to beat your arch rival to get into the NCAA tournament and to lose it like that. Yeah, it's one of the worst sporting memories I've ever had, yeah.
It was my next to last year on the beat. It was a season that got off to a terrible start. The vibes were wrong from the very beginning. And it was because Sean Banks was the best player.
Yeah.
If you remember, he had a really nice freshman year.
Yes.
After being labeled a gang member by police in New Jersey. He comes to the University of Memphis.
Literally.
Like
a literal gang member.
Like not he has friends who are gang members, but he is identified by local law enforcement officials as a gang member.
Right.
He got in trouble for burning a gang sign onto an underage girl. All right?
Yep.
That was the centerpiece of your basketball program. Despite all that, he has a nice freshman year. Gets invited to USA basketball. U19 tryouts, whatever it is. The facility is the Nets facility, which is 10 minutes from his house. He no-shows tryouts. Imagine you get invited to USA basketball and you just don't show up.
Right.
He didn't show up. Do you know why he didn't show up? Because he got caught wind of it that you're going to get drug tested when you walk through the front door.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, I can't pass a drug test.
Yeah.
So he just skipped it. He skipped the whole thing. That became a whole headline national story. Then most of the players return to campus in June or whatever. He literally comes back the day before classes start the next morning. He's lost weight. He looks like somebody, I don't know how else to say it. He looked like he had a drug problem. And it was a fight from day one.
Yes.
and there was a split within the team, and it was basically Sean Banks and the knuckleheads went this way, and Darius Washington, the freshman McDonald's All-American point guard, and other people went this way. And I'll never forget, in the middle of the season when shit is going sideways bad. This is when Arthur Barclay, same season, punches Sean Banks down at Texas. I was subsequently working with somebody who was on that Texas team. I can't remember who it was exactly. But they came in studio, they're like, yeah, that was the craziest thing we ever... we heard Arthur Barclay tell Sean Banks, as soon as the game's over, I'm beating your ass. And then he went in the locker room and beat him up. The Texas players were like, that was nuts. This is the craziest thing. I'd never seen something like that in a basketball game. So this was that season. And I'll never forget that there's a moment in practice where John Calipari's losing his mind and he just blows the whistle and stops everything. And he says, hey, clearly there's some confusion here. But just know I'm with the kid. This was the quote, I'm with the kid. So if you're following the other guy, he's talking about Sean Banks, just know I'm with the kid. And so you want to be on my side, you got to come over here. And that team was a mess. They ended up kicking Sean Banks off the team.
Yes.
I think he flunked out of school is what actually happened. And it culminates with him winning some games. And suddenly they are a couple of free throws away from ending up in the NCAA tournament, despite everything I just said. And he makes the first, misses the next one, collapses, and it was hard to watch. Yeah.
And then they take off after that.
And then after that comes the Elite Eight, and that's when the best 4-year run of Tiger basketball ever happened. It was Darius's sophomore season, and then the subsequent 3 seasons. And then John Calipari was off to Kentucky. One of the cool things for me as a Memphis beat writer was the first time I ever went to Freedom Hall. I grew up watching that place and hating that school and, LaBradford Smith, Purvis Ellison, you name it. I knew more about the mid-'80s Louisville basketball program than I know about the 2025 any AAC program. I might have known more about 1986 Louisville than I know about 2025 Memphis. I mean, that's what, that was a big brand and your rival, one of the biggest brands in the sport and your rival, and not some one-sided rivalry where you look at them one way and they don't look at you at all.
Right.
They considered you their rival as well. They hated us just as much as we hated them.
Yes.
So that was a real thing. And then to walk into Freedom Hall for the first time and I grew up watching this place. And then subsequently, I was at a coaching clinic out in California and was on a panel. And the panel there were 4 of us, but 2 of us, it was me and Denny Crum.
Oh, that's cool.
That was just a cool moment for me too. I grew up hating this man, and now I'm sitting
next to
right
him.
here, and we're talking I'm on a panel with Denny Crum. All these things were neat moments, pinch yourself moments for me. And then of course, my first year on the beat as the full-time beat writer. This is Memphis and Louisville are still in the same league, Conference USA. And this would have been my first ever trip to Freedom Hall, but I didn't make the trip. It was February 2003. Again, this is my first full-time season on the beat, and I did not make the trip to Freedom Hall. You want to know why? Oldest son was born.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Same day as the game. February 19, 2003, Memphis at Louisville. And we had gone in for delivery, and that wasn't going so well. So they were going to have to induce labor, honestly come back and do a C-section. And the doctor was a Tiger basketball fan. The doctor was familiar with my job. And the doctor was like, I'm assuming you want to watch the game, and I want to go home and watch the game. So why don't we just watch the Memphis-Louisville game, then we'll come back and we'll get this baby.
Yeah.
And I remember Kelly being like, are y'all crazy? We're just going to watch a game, then come back and get the baby? You could get the baby now, but y'all want to watch the game? And it's like, yeah, let's just watch the game.
Yeah, let's just come on.
It's a big game.
Important, yeah.
So watch the game. Memphis won. Doctor came back in a Memphis basketball shirt and delivered.
Let's go.
And delivered our son.
That is cool.
Yeah. So
that is cool.
Louisville basketball has been an important part of my life for much of my life. There are benchmarks throughout my life where Louisville basketball and Memphis basketball play a role in that. I can remember like indoor soccer games, and you want to see if you can get home as soon as it's over because Memphis and Louisville are playing on a Saturday afternoon in a Metro Conference showdown. Like I have these memories. And so who knows where this series goes from here and if it will resonate the way it once did. But I like the idea that this December, me and my kids are going to be able to sit down and watch a Memphis-Louisville basketball game, and I'll get to tell them a lot of these same stories.
Yeah, man. And like, shout out to Penny and Ed Scott and everybody involved in that athletic department scheduling that series. Because, again, like, right now they're in the league that they're in, but the fact that they're trying to schedule games that really matter to the fan base, it's awesome.
Absolutely. Credit to Penny, credit to Ed, credit to Pat Kelsey. Louisville's an ACC
that's right.
program.
They're going to be good, right?
ACC programs don't make a habit at scheduling home-and-home series with AAC programs. And so it is nice that Memphis is still thought of in a way where it's totally reasonable for the University of Louisville to say, we'll do a 6-year home-and-home series with you.
Yeah.
There ain't another AAC program that could get a deal like that done. So Memphis, even if it is stuck in this mid-major conference, still has the cachet to get big scheduling developments done, and that's what happened with Memphis and Louisville. Announced yesterday, 6-year series starts in December. Jessica Benson in studio next.
We talked a little bit about Jalen Wells. Jalen Wells, man, he finished third in the balloting for NBA Rookie of the Year. He's going to be back. He's going to play in Summer League, and maybe he'll shoot some left-handed jumpers out there. Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum, Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit shinedown.com.
This week, we're going to run down the hits and the misses from WrestleMania 41.
The main event, NXT title on the line, Obafemi versus Trick Williams versus Javon Evans. One of the greatest triple threat matches I've ever seen in my life.
I'm shocked.
And it made history because it's the first time there's 3 black men highlighting a NXT pay-per-view. Okay. That was dope, too.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
How about Mr. Irrelevant coming from the Memphis Tigers? Yeah, how about that? New England Patriots took Memphis defensive back Kobe Minor with the 257th overall pick.
If you're the player getting drafted at that spot, it's almost better to go undrafted and pick a place as an undrafted free agent to sign with where you have a better chance
But
of
you get a lot of stuff. You get a parade. I think you go to Disneyland, I believe.
Mr. Irrelevant goes to Disney?
I think so.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Welcome back, Gary Parrish Show, presented by OrthoSouth. It's Friday, and on Friday in the second segment, I'm joined by Jessica Benson. She's the host of the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt. Weekdays, 8 a.m., Grind City Media. How are you doing? It's good to see you. Did you see Bennett sitting right there?
Yeah, I've seen him all morning.
Do you want to congratulate him?
For what?
He made it to the show on time.
Oh, don't do that to Bennett.
That's 1 out of 2. That's 1 out of 2 today.
Do that to this
People
man.
were wondering after he couldn't make your show on time, a little bit like, you know how the Thunder lost game 1 and people are like, how are the Thunder going to bounce back in game 2? People are wondering how Bennett's going to bounce back for the 10 o'clock show. And I will tell you.
Strong?
So far, so good.
I was wondering if you're going to stroll in here on time. I wouldn't have blamed you for coming in a few minutes late. Yeah.
I didn't want him to have an off show for you, so I wanted to make sure like he got a little bit of a break off the top of the first.
Well, he had a break at the beginning of your show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he had a break, like 20-minute break, right? He came in here, he looked ready to go.
Have you ever done your show with no producer? I felt naked. I felt really uncomfortable.
It's a different feeling, even if, practically speaking, it shouldn't be that big of a deal.
Exactly.
But it feels different.
Yes.
I'll tell you where I don't, struggle is a strong word, but just having somebody to look at it changes the dynamic of everything.
Entirely.
Yes.
It reminded me of when I had my life where I was going to be an actress, and so you would have to do self-tapes and like auditions for summer programs, because this was in high school. I'd stopped doing this before I got to the point where you would be doing it for actual like casting directors or anything, but like for summer programs and audition boards and whatnot, and you would do these self-tapes, and nothing was more uncomfortable. Like I could get up and do something in front of a judge panel.
That's right.
Sure, I was like trained in that sense, or an audience, but doing it just me and the camera, and it took me back there this morning. I was like,
I still don't like it. We have to do these for CBS Sports HQ all the time. They'll be like, all right, it'll be Con Knipple just declared for the draft.
Okay.
And they'll say, GP, we don't have a host in right now, but we need 45 seconds on Con Knipple. Turn your camera on, count yourself in, and then it'll be something along the lines of like Haley Sutton will be in studio later, and she'll be like, and for more on Con Knipple, here's Gary Parrish. And and then it's me, and it's like, Con Knipple just declared for, I talk for, and I can't stand that because it feels so unnatural. I'll actually talk to a producer and I'll say, just ask me a question. Just ask, like, we're not going to hear your voice. Just ask me. And Gary, Con Knipple is declared for the NBA draft. Ask me a question, let me answer it, as opposed to 3, 2, 1, start talking.
Yeah.
It's just different when you're talking to, when you feel like you're talking to somebody, it's just different.
It's so fun. I didn't even think of it this way, but like that was my life in local news was that.
Right.
Like I'd be on the scene, I would write a script, and I would be me and the camera doing a stand-up, as we call it, and like something that would sandwich together a package, or you'd send something back to the team, and it wouldn't be a talk back necessarily, so there's no instant feedback.
Right.
And I did that for years without even thinking twice about it. But I think it's because it's so scripted and so small.
Right.
Like when it's just the open air.
Yes.
You're like, hello. And on the other side of that too is a live audience, even though you can't see any of those people.
No.
So anyway, it was weird, but shout out Bennett. He made it.
Yeah, she texted me.
Made it.
She texted me at 7:47 and was like, "Hey, here's what we're opening on." And like,
Thank
my
God
heart
I texted him.
dropped. My heart dropped, and I was like, "Oh my God!" Because I usually set like an alarm when I'm producing JB's show so I don't forget, and I, for whatever reason, didn't this time.
It is why I have a file in my computer, and anytime I agree to do something, I put it in there. Like literally, I have a file at all times that has Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And it is, some of this is just OCD stuff, but it's like 10 o'clock GP show, as if I need to remind myself of that. But then I just sprinkle in everything, like dentist appointment, Jessica Benson show, radio in Kansas City, because I will
lose track.
It's just, I don't trust myself. So
Me too. That's my thing
I need
too.
to have something to look at to confirm just internally that I have nothing to do today or more things to do today. Because if I don't have something visually to look at, I'll wonder about it nonstop.
Oh, me too. Especially with our dog sitting.
Yes.
I mean, if we don't put something on our calendar immediately, it is at risk of being lost until the owner of said dogs will text us like 3 weeks before.
That's right.
And this happened to us once, and we've been vigilant about it ever since. And the person's like, "Hey, I'm planning to leave tomorrow at 9 a.m. I'll be back Sunday at 2. Here's the code to get in." And we're like, we're double booked. And luckily there's 2 of us, so
That's
we were
right, you
able
can
to do
work.
it. Like it didn't turn into a situation. But your stomach just, you're like, how did I forget to write this down?
I had one. I've done this one time where I missed something that was, I mean, it's pretty, like, remember when Jeff Calkins had the WKNO show?
I think that predates my time.
Okay. He had a show. It was like a weekly.
What was it called?
What was that called?
The sports. It was
like
sports
a 30-minute.
was in the title.
It was like
Sports
a
was in
30
the title.
sports something. It was like a
Sports
30-minute
people?
talk show.
Okay.
And I would do the show every once in a while, and he'd have a panel, and we'd go on. Or I was even a guest one time, just me, just talking about me. And he was out, and I would be asked to guest host it sometime. So I had agreed to guest host it. He's out. I'm the guest host. And they're bringing in like a guest. his name escapes me, but the guy was like an Olympic medalist from Memphis.
You didn't know who he was?
No, it was a Monday morning after like a Sunday holiday. We were like at the lake type of. I had agreed to do it like 6 weeks earlier, 4 weeks earlier.
Yeah.
And it was literally like, you get the phone call at like 10:02. Hello? Hey, GP, are you close? Close to what? The studio. We've got so-and-so here. We're supposed to start taping at 10. I'm like at Heber Springs or something. And you just realize in that moment,
I messed up.
There's a whole crew.
Mm-hmm.
I have screwed up everybody's, like I've messed up a whole television show. Yeah. And so when Jeff, I don't know if he lost that show or gave up that show.
It was probably because of that incident.
But like I had this moment there was like a millisecond where I was like, I can't believe they didn't ask me about doing the show.
Oh.
Like a millisecond. Like I thought, who are they going to ask besides me? And then I was like, probably somebody who just shows up when they're supposed to.
Maybe someone who the whole crew didn't have to come in early on a Monday for an interview. And
probably because the same people who are making this decision are probably the same people I screwed over.
They hate you.
And I love that you remember it to this day.
They hate
Sports Files.
Sports Files.
Yes.
Sports Files.
Sports Files with Jeff
Bring back
Dawkins.
Sports Files.
So that's the one moment where I felt like Bennett.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I should have texted him last night.
I got here in record time though, like the fastest I've ever gotten downtown. I think it was like 12 to 13 minutes.
Okay.
Ran every red light, cut everyone
That's
off.
certainly something to brag about.
Apologies to everyone that
That's
I cut off on the
certainly
way.
something to brag about.
I think I might have accidentally cut someone off coming into the parking garage. So I'm sorry.
Jeez.
Apologize to my coworkers.
That's a dedicated producer right there. He's gonna make it. He went too fast, too furious.
That was a hell of a
Baby
Friday.
driver Bennett.
That was a hell of a Friday morning for you. Hey, I'm glad you got here safely.
Thank you.
Me too.
He was on time for my show.
I couldn't have gone another I was like, oh God, there's no one to run these bits off.
Well, it just feels weird. There are sometimes even where I'll look over there and Bennett is like in his phone a little bit, and that can even become a little distracting.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear you say that because I get the exact same way. And like CJ's so good with the chat. Like he's a chat master, so he's always in it. But sometimes, when you're naturally conversing with people, you'll miss something and I'll say something and it hangs in the air.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I feel awkward. I feel exposed this time.
Well, there are times like it just becomes when you are normally talking to somebody, you expect them to look at you.
Yes.
And there are times where I know the camera's here and I'm not really talking to Bennett, but I use him as like, and he's not looking at me. And you have this moment where I'm like, you want to go, dude, look at me. But then on the other hand, you don't want to be telling somebody to look at you because it sounds ridiculous.
Are you paying attention?
Yeah, like you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But that you need somebody to like.
This is like one of those things where it's a good reminder that if we all vocalized some of our anxious pieces, we'd find out we're not alone. Because I literally have the exact
You know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right. So that's the thing. But you don't want to. The thing I hate even more than
is the person who calls it out and is like, "Hey."
Well, like it just seems like even if you and anybody who has this job would know exactly what I'm talking about, to somebody just watching, they'd be like, how arrogant is this asshole to think that Bennett has to just stare at him while he's talking about Juan Soto for 17 straight minutes?
Catch everything.
Yeah, because it's like, hey, you need to look at me. And like in my head, the response would be, well, say something interesting and I'll look at you. You've been talking about Juan Soto for 11 straight minutes. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I just shut. I don't say anything.
Yeah.
And
we do this every day.
But
so inevitably, there are multiple times where this happens.
Right. Oh yeah. I feel that.
Yeah.
I got to ask you a question.
Oh, I'm so excited to see what comes next.
I got to talk to you.
Okay.
Your husband actually defending Draymond Green?
Oh God. You want me to read you the whole thing?
Yes.
Okay. From the eyes of a Warriors fan. It started with a whoa, 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 which I always get when I misinterpret something that he says. I love the whoa, whoa, whoa mid-show because at least he's paying attention.
At least he's paying attention.
Listening every morning. That's a supportive husband right there. Listens every single morning. He said, in the case of last night, I am fighting for his comments. His behavior on the court is tired. Warriors fans have been sick of it. He clearly can't control his emotions, but he has a reputation, and the refs give him the softest texts and flagrants while also giving him a long leash. It's a weird combination. He flails all the time when he gets fouled to sell it. Majority of the time, he hits nothing, but whenever he hits someone, the intent is not to injure. Everyone just assumes. Draymond has actually never injured a player in his entire life, but it's also his fault that he is viewed this way because he is so intense and can't control himself. It's a complex issue that everyone tries to simplify because most people simply don't like him. Draymond is not a bad person, but he doesn't deserve the benefit of the doubt anymore. Two of these things can be true.
Okay. Draymond is not a bad person. I'll take that.
I actually don't know. I try not to speak definitively.
Yeah, I don't know.
I would have said Justin Tucker's not a bad person, but this is why I never make definitive statements on someone's character.
Draymond Green better than Justin Tucker.
Without question.
I think.
Yes,
the
without
bar is
question.
low.
Come on.
I'm comfortable saying that.
The bar is the floor.
I am comfortable saying Draymond Green is a better person than Justin Tucker.
Yes.
I feel comfortable saying that.
At least as of today.
So the big thing is that Draymond, after getting another tech last night, it holds media availability and basically expresses frustration.
Right.
You or Chris, tell me if I'm getting any of this wrong.
Okay. I'm not going to speak for him, but I'll speak for myself.
Expresses frustration with being labeled a, quote, angry black man. Do people think of Draymond Green as an angry black man?
Think so.
That's the thing.
That's
what I said. I don't agree with
I have
that.
never looked at him as an angry black man.
But that's how he's viewing the criticism of himself, which is an interesting. And the one thing I'll applaud Draymond on is he is always himself. Like, there's not really a shield there from his podcast to how he plays on everything. So that's clearly, like, when he says that last night, I'm like, everybody else is going to, and I didn't see it until this morning. But the first, I'm like, oh God, everyone's going to roll heavily with this. And they should, because it's a weird thing that doesn't address what actually is occurring. And what is actually occurring is NBA fans, basketball fans, viewers watching somebody time and time and time again. I don't care if it's not intentional, flail their arms to a point where they are hitting someone in the head or the crotch or the stomach or the leg or whatever bone, whatever joint. Like, Draymond Green has hit it at some point in his career. But when I hear him say that, to me, it is like crystal clear. Like, that's how he's internalizing this.
Sure.
And, you can't tell someone how to feel about the things that are said, but I find it such fascinating.
I was hoping you could.
A fascinating look into Draymond Green's very complex mind. And this is where I always sit with Draymond Green, and a part of it is being influenced by living with a Golden State Warriors fan, because it's hard to fight the fight all the time.
I understand.
Sometimes you just gotta side. I've learned the key to a happy marriage is not fighting everything you disagree with.
Hold on, let me write that down.
And sometimes finding compromise within.
Can you repeat that real quick?
Not fighting everything you disagree with. You pick your, I believe the phrase is pick your battles.
Okay, pick a battle.
And we fight enough about sports things, and we fight often about Draymond Green. I think he's one of the best defensive players we've ever seen. I think he's an incredibly high, that's why when people say, when he said, I'm sick of people, I don't want to misquote him, but it was something about his intelligence. No, I think Draymond Green's one of the smartest basketball players out there. He's also one of the dumbest people because he just keeps doing the same thing over and over and over.
It feels like he's inventing strawman arguments that the rest of us aren't really having about him.
No.
I have never looked at Draymond Green or listened to Draymond Green and been like, that's a dumb person.
Me neither.
And I've never looked at Draymond Green on or off the basketball court and thought, that's an angry black man.
No.
I find him to be
God, that's one crazy MFer.
I find him to be a frustrating basketball player, and that's why. And I heard you and Ben talking about it this morning. I mean this sincerely.
Yes.
I would not like him on my team.
Interesting.
It
would create too much of like a moral quandary for you to deal with.
Not
like
a moral quandary. Like, I don't want to overstate it, but
just
like
a feelings.
I don't. For all of my other flaws. I think I'm pretty good at just being consistent with calling out bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at that. It's why when Penny Hardaway does something great, I can say, that was great. And when Penny Hardaway does something that I don't think's great, I can say, I don't think that's great. And I don't get caught up in, I went to Memphis, I grew up idolizing Penny Hardaway. I just look at things and I go, this makes sense to me, or this doesn't make sense to me. And I talk about them in that way.
Right.
And I would
really struggle
with trying to rationalize all of the Draymond Green nonsense.
But do you think it would be an emphasis on having to rationalize it. If he plays for your team, is there a more...
If he played for my team, if he played for the Grizzlies, I would come in here this morning and I would tell you, we would lead the show on it.
Yes.
And I would tell you, I think he's insane for acting as if he doesn't deserve the whistles and the text that he's getting.
What becomes insane too is it's not even just the flail. It's not even the elbow to Naz Reid's face. It's the response after the elbow to Naz Reid's face.
Here's the thing. In the moment, we're all watching the game. Stan Van Gundy's watching the game.
Yeah.
Nobody is even debating whether or not his is about to be a technical foul.
Well, Stan Van Gundy was. Stan Van Gundy was. It was crazy. I couldn't believe it.
It felt like correct me if I'm wrong, but even didn't he say, well, like, you know, once you hit the head, it's going to be, like, it wasn't even really.
But it was like if you hit the head, usually it's this.
Here's what I believe. Draymond Green seems to think that he is getting technical fouls at an unfair rate.
Mm-hmm.
And what I actually believe is that he doesn't get nearly as many as he probably should.
And I agree with that. But
so
then
how
there's
do you
also
balance
the other
those
side
things
of that too.
when you think you're being mistreated? And I think you actually should have maybe been thrown out of that game last night because you wouldn't shut up after you got the technical foul. A different person might have been like, boom, boom, go.
Immediate.
Yeah. I actually think he benefits from being Draymond Green.
Oh, at this point, absolutely. But it's
There's
okay.
no
But that's
doubt.
like yes, I think he benefits by not getting tossed out of games more. But then there's also, if there is a question, it was one of the plays in maybe the first or second game with the Rockets where I remember the Twitter chorus, as we'll call it, was all like, oh my God, I actually don't think Draymond Green intended to hit whoever he hit in this scenario. I'm siding with Draymond Green. And then like 2 minutes later, he kicked someone. But the first one wasn't, and he got a tech for it. And people are, I think this is the first tech that I've ever disagreed with. So there are instances where his reputation probably pushes it into tech territory. But then there are also, for every action, there's a equal reaction where then he is seemingly gifted a longer leash by officials.
Whatever his reputation is, I think he's earned it.
1,000%.
We didn't just decide Draymond Green is going to be
this like cloud on top and say, you know what, this guy.
No, it's because you're hitting this guy in the nuts. You're taking a cheap shot at this guy. You're choking this guy.
Yes.
You're popping off nonstop.
Yes.
You seem to lack in self-awareness with your mouth.
I mean, if there was ever going to be a time for him to do some serious reflection and try to reach a point, and
you punched a teammate.
Exactly, that's what I mean. After you punch a teammate, that was the time to try to. But I do think this is a testament to it's easier said than done to try to quote unquote like get better, to try to manage this level of intensity or your natural reactions. Like if your natural reaction is to flail to try to get a call, and that's just buried deep inside of you, it's hard to change, Gary. That's my biggest takeaway. It's hard to change.
Here's the thing. I don't need him to change.
Yeah.
Just don't stop acting like the whole world has invented some narrative connected to you.
Okay, truly.
Out of thin air.
If he had not had the comment after the game, I think we're barely talking. I mean, I think it gets mentioned because the second it pops off in the second quarter, everyone was waiting. Like, oh, is Draymond going to have an incident? We're already doing the technical foul counter and the flagrant call counter and trying to figure out if he's going to miss a game this series. But I don't think we're spending a lot of time on the Naz Reid elbow. Maybe it gets mentioned because of his antics following, but we're not sitting here having this conversation this morning.
You got a tech, understandably so, based on the rules.
Yeah.
Very few people, I won't say nobody, but very few people were surprised that was called a technical foul in that moment.
Very few.
Then you complained about it so much after the fact that Steph Curry had to come over and talk to you. Then your coach had to quite literally take you out of the game.
Needs to rest.
The coach took you out of the game.
Yep.
And the announcers are saying they might ought to just send you to the locker room to calm down. And then you were mad because people have a perception of you?
Yeah.
Everything I just said is true.
Yes.
That's all stuff that just take everything else you know about Draymond Green and just focus on last night. You got a technical for doing something you're not allowed to do. Then you complained about it so much that your coach, your star player, teammate, and the broadcasting crew all thought you needed to maybe remove yourself from the entire playing surface so that you could calm yourself down. And you're mad because people think,
I love
what?
this, though, because it symbolizes the absurdity that is professional sports as like a work environment.
Yes.
Because if Draymond Green is in any office in America at his job and he's had this many instances, like, I'm sorry, we've given you so many chances, we've tried, but you cannot come to work anymore because you keep hitting people in the face or the nuts, like, and then getting mad about it, and then telling us that we're the problem for getting mad at the action that you are.
To me, that's the craziest thing. Just take your technical foul and go back to
home.
Go home, tied 1-1, and see if you can steal one without Steph and get him back for game 5 or 6 or whatever. But like to act like, you know what? Tonight's the night. I'm tired of people talking about me this way, bro. You did it again. The same thing you've been doing your whole career that has created this narrative. You did it again.
But I go opening the third eye with it.
Okay.
And I'm not, this is a sheer conspiracy. This does not come from my husband. This does not come from the Warriors message threads that I wake up to millions of, because he'll just DM me all night after these games. So now I wake up to like 20 DMs of various Warriors commentary. I'm like, okay, buddy. But I appreciate it. What if Draymond Green made the comments after the game so that we're all talking about this as opposed to how stinky the rest of the Golden State Warriors played and how necessary? What if he's taking the pressure off Jimmy Butler this morning? Because otherwise we're talking about playoff Jimmy.
This is not a commentary on Draymond Green's intelligence. But I don't think he put that much thought into it.
Damn.
I think he was probably just...
That'd be crazy.
Just frustrated. He was just frustrated, but I think inappropriately.
Yeah.
The reason people think you do all the things that you do is because we've watched you do them.
We've seen it.
We've seen it.
We've seen it.
We've seen it.
There's really no...
it's odd to me to hear somebody complain about being targeted or getting technicals when what I'm actually watching makes me think you should have maybe been thrown out of the game.
Yeah.
Like, I don't remember Draymond getting a technical foul where how about this? You probably keep a closer eye on this than I do.
I do, unfortunately.
Do you remember a time where Draymond Green got a technical foul and you were like, that's bullshit. He shouldn't have got that one.
Yes, that one in that game against the Rockets that I was just talking about. I swear.
Okay. He's gotten like 5 in the postseason already.
5 in 9 games.
Yeah, okay.
Has it been 9 games or 10 games?
And then there was like 15 in the regular season or something. Okay, so there's a bunch.
Yeah, and didn't he come into the season saying he was going to get he does that every year. It's a fun running bit, but...
What is the ratio, I guess?
Like 1 in every 20?
1 in every 20 you might go, he doesn't deserve that. Which means
I know.
19 out of 20 times you're like, yeah, you deserve that, buddy.
Yeah.
I don't.
Can we talk about the real problem here?
What is the real problem here?
The Warriors have played every other day for 10 straight games, and I need a break. I cannot... Save me. I can't watch another one of these games.
I don't even have to watch these.
Oh my God.
But I find myself at the end of the night watching to the final buzzer every night.
All of the playoffs have been, not all, obviously the last one and then the last Nuggets Thunder game was a dud too. But it's been so entertaining. I haven't felt like it's a chore. I generally try to watch them at night because it's so much easier for me to do my show the next day if I just am completely tuned in watching mostly start to finish. I'll tap out at half sometimes and then come back to it. But for the Warriors Timberwolves game, I mean, like, Chris does not, I don't think he understands a world where he can't watch a Warriors game. I mean, we're at Anderson Paak on Sunday and he is watching
I would be like
the
that
Warriors
too.
game. We're at Missy Elliott on Friday and my man's back here saying, God! And I'm like, Missy Elliott's doing lose control, and you're this angry?
Right.
So I need a break.
Well, if you put the Mets in the NLCS, and
you're doing the same thing. I know.
I would be doing the same thing.
I know.
Yes.
But it's such a funny. I was telling. I forget who I was talking to, but my mom was just in town recently, and we were having a conversation about this because Chris is such a true fan. Like, he's true to it. He grew up in it. He has so many feelings, especially with the Warriors. And like, Steph's his favorite player, and there's a lot of connection with his dad who passed in the last couple of years. And so it's like grasping on to something that means so much. I don't know how to be a fan. Like, I've had to learn.
Right.
Like, I don't have any muscle memory from my childhood. Like, I grew up sitting on my hands, not allowed to show any emotion at whatever game. My mom was the same way. My mom's dad was a football coach, and they were always told, even though there was a clear team that they were rooting for, like, there was a decorum that was expected of them. And so, genetically speaking, I am on such an opposite side of a sports viewing standpoint as my husband. It creates the strangest dichotomy because he's out here yelling and hooping and hollering and, like, so obviously cares, and my care has always had to be internal. It's such a weird thing.
I'm more internally excited as well, but I will show him. There's a time a few years ago, Oliver and I were in New York. We went to a Mets game, and we were right by the Mets dugout, and Pete Alonso hit a grand slam, and the cameras picked us up, and you can see me jump out of my seat.
Yeah.
And it was weird for me to see that because I made this comment at the time. I had never seen myself that excited before.
Oh.
I had never seen video of me that excited.
You filmed it too, right?
I mean, I think I have some of it, but
because I remember hearing you yell, and I was like, I've never heard.
But that's not me yelling. That's somebody else yelling. People the one thing I hate about that one video is there is a man yelling.
I thought it was you.
And people think it's me.
And it's not you.
No, it's this guy yelling like, oh. Ooh,
and
like that.
You want to make sure
and
everyone knows
like,
it's not you.
It's not me. It's some other guy yelling.
Okay.
But it was another camera like from the third base line that was just shooting the game.
Yeah.
It was like posted on MLB's Twitter account. But you can see, like I'm wearing an orange hoodie. You can see me. And I jump up out of my chair and I was like, I've never seen myself that excited. Like, I know I've been that excited before, but I've never seen myself that excited. And like you transport me to youth football games or youth baseball games like my son's, I'm
stoic.
Very.
Yeah. I'm even that way at like the theater, like something I genuinely care so much about. And I will be seeing a performance that I've been waiting to see forever. And Chris will have to like nudge me and be like, cheer, like clap, yell, say something. He desperately wants me to give a woo in the middle of a show, and I just can't. I'm just like, it feels so unnatural. I'm feeling it on the inside. I swear, I'm having the time of my life.
Right.
I just am incapable of showing that like level of excitability.
Yeah, like
in those moments.
I don't know that I'm incapable. It's just not natural for me.
Yeah, I guess incapable is not right either because.
Like my little guy hits a home run, I'm very excited. I'm just as excited as the other parent when but I don't show it.
Yeah.
I'll show it to him privately.
Exactly.
But I don't feel the need to stand up and go, way to go, Louie.
I have no showmanship in my
that.
appreciation or my enjoyment of something.
Yeah.
Like my natural tendency is not to show how I feel in those moments. But I think back on the USC Penn State Rose Bowl, the 2016 game where it's the game-winning kick and USC comes back, and like I jumped up and down at that, and it stands out to me because I don't have a whole lot of those.
That's what that video of me is. It's like I don't even recognize that.
Even when I was in college, it was always like, yay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I don't.
This is weird.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right.
Are we weird?
It's possible.
Y'all are kind of weird.
It's possible.
Jury says probably.
It's possible.
I'd put probable.
It's possible. All right. Draymond Green's going to make it out of these playoffs without suffering a suspension.
I mean, maybe the Pope could sit down with him and like say, young man.
Let me ask you a serious question about the Pope.
Oh, now we're talking.
Then I'm going to get you out of here because I got Pope commentary coming up. Is it weird? And I say this as respectfully as I could say it, but is the whole thing weird? And this is what I mean specifically. There's this new fella. He's the Pope. Pope Leo.
Bobby. Now Leo.
Here's my point. This is what I mean.
She was Pope Bobby.
This is what I mean.
Bobby would be sick.
This is what I mean. 2 days ago, this fella could have walked into any restaurant in the world, could have walked in here, nobody blinks.
Right.
All right? Now, people will stand in line for hours to be touched by him. All because some other fellas voted for him. Is that weird?
You're walking me into dangerous territory.
Yeah, be careful.
Like I was thinking about this, even like when we elect a president, because that's what they do. They elect a pope.
Right. It's the
Like I saw some of these fellas talking, and they were like, and God chose, and I'm like, I think you fellas did the vote.
Yeah.
I think some fellas did the vote.
But God speaks to them.
Divine.
But God speaks to them. Okay, maybe that's the part I missed.
Yeah.
All right, okay, got it. And but even when we elect a president, it's not. We don't go from. When this dude was announced yesterday, everybody was like, "And who's that?" Mm-hmm. You don't announce Donald Trump's the next president,
and know nothing about it.
And everybody's like, "Now where's Donald?" And you're like, "Oh, like you don't know nothing about this guy."
Let's search his old tweets.
I just found that to be. You go from completely anonymous to people will
one
line
of the
up.
most important people in the world.
Yes. Yeah. Is that weird? That's what I'm asking you.
Yeah.
It feels weird.
It's a little weird. It's and I don't know if it feels weirder because he is American. So there's this idea of like the Pope has to me has felt divine, has felt otherworldly, has felt like some guy who's on a cloud, like some guy who has special powers.
This dude was probably watching Dante DiVincenzo in the national title game.
The Final Four win for Villanova. Yes. He absolutely has been at a White Sox game. I would love to know his thoughts on the Bears. Like, even just small, like, has he been to the Bean? Like, it's just this very weird thing where suddenly the Pope is just a guy.
Yeah.
And the Pope might have had a girlfriend at Villanova, and where's she now? Like, I want to hear from.
I know where she's at.
Oh, congratulations.
I don't know where she's at.
Okay, see? But, like, before he decided to declare a life that would lead him towards being a cardinal and eventually the Pope, he's studying math. Like, that's just so bizarre to me. And now he holds all this, he wields so much power, and so many people look up to him and make decisions and have very strong feelings. The conversations popping off between, I engaged with so much Pope content yesterday. I started getting like really strict Catholic commentary on the Pope selection. I said, oh no, I've wandered down the wrong path.
Yeah, that's why
I'm not supposed to be here.
That's why I preface everything I say by saying I don't know nothing about any of this.
Anything.
I'm a complete outsider.
I watched some cute little videos of Tegel, the cardinal from the Philippines. He seems like a nice guy.
I guess
he
I don't
seems
know.
like an enjoyable person to root for.
I just this is what struck me. Nothing more than this. Don't try to read anything into it other than what I'm actually saying.
We knew nothing about this person before yesterday.
I saw a woman on CNN last night, and she buddies with this fella.
Oh, congrats.
And she was like, yeah, I was at dinner with him a couple weeks ago. And I just had this sort of, a couple of weeks ago, this guy was in a restaurant, and there was a table next to him and a table next to him, and all these people are like sitting next to this guy, and nobody even blinked, nobody even nothing.
And they won't even know that they were sitting by him because he's an unmemorable, until yesterday, he's just another guy who was sitting by you at a restaurant. Even hearing from his brother, I'm like, I've never thought of the Pope having brothers before. Like, I've never thought of the Pope having a family before he was the Pope.
And now if this guy was coming to Memphis, there would be people lined up for hours just to like see him or maybe be touched by him. And they would think if they were touched by him, that would mean something.
Yeah.
And that's wild to me.
Yeah. But I don't know. I always get the kind of like the bigger part of this too, where I do think there is a beauty in the like celebration of it and the trust the process. It doesn't work in Philadelphia, but it seems to work on this level, and just seeing all the people there and how much it meant to them. Like, it's such a special thing. I personally
I'm fascinated by it.
I didn't grow up Catholic. I grew up with a lot of Catholics, so I do have Catholic adjacent memories growing up. But I genuinely wanted to reach out to some of my friends yesterday and say, hey, what are your thoughts on the new Pope? But then I wondered if that was an inappropriate loaded question, and I didn't want to say the wrong thing. But
here's the thing. How would you even have thoughts on the new Pope? How would you even have thoughts on it?
I saw a lot of people's thoughts yesterday.
I know, but
I don't know.
Like, imagine this.
I know nothing. So,
based
on what he wore, based on the blessing, based on speaking Latin, like all these things. Apparently, your introduction as Pope can tell a lot about how you are going to be. Like when Francis was his introductory press conference as Pope, which is not the way to put it. I'm so sorry.
He had an introductory press conference.
Do not come down and smite me in this moment. But apparently, they took things from how he did, and it would have given you clues, breadcrumbs. What is this? Like a Taylor Swift concert or a Taylor Swift album release? But there's breadcrumbs that you can grasp onto to understand what kind of pope he's going to be. And I guess there were differences in Pope Leo's decisions yesterday. But again, that's all stuff that
I don't care about any of that.
My brain.
Here's what I think's interesting.
Oh, I care about it. I want to know.
I'm
just such a curious person.
Here's what I think's interesting. It'd be like if we just decided today that starting now, Bennett's the most important person in the world.
Well, Bennett hasn't been putting in the work for the poor and the downtrodden in Peru.
Oh, I think he has.
I've been to Peru.
He's
just
been to
like
Peru.
the new Pope.
Oh, yeah, you did Machu Picchu.
Yeah, that's right.
Shoot.
Yeah.
He's been to
Don't
Peru.
get twisted. We actually have a lot in common.
Bennett is on track to be the next Pope.
Do you think most Catholics had some knowledge? Like, did they know this person's name?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Yeah. I would doubt it.
Nobody, that's what's interesting to me.
Yeah.
This time yesterday, nobody knew this person's name, and now he's one of the most revered people in the world. That's wild to me.
Even the people who care the most.
Didn't know he existed yesterday.
Yeah.
That's wild to me.
I think it's like the people who care the most, there's no way we're ever having an American Pope. Like, that was the sentiment. There's never going to be an American Pope.
Do you know why that was?
Look at us
Do you
now.
know? Look at us now. Can't hold us down. Do you know why that was the sentiment?
Partially because of the geopolitical power and the space that the United States finds itself in, and there was never a desire to have more of that in the church.
I knew I should have just saved that question for Bennett.
What? Oh, is that the answer?
Yeah, but if I would have asked Bennett would have been like, no, and then I could have said it.
I'm so sorry.
And I would have sounded smart. But instead, you sound smart. I wanted to sound smart. I didn't want you to sound smart.
Damn it.
I was hoping you would do what Bennett.
Let's do it again.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that you're exactly right, Jess. That was the sentiment,
Yeah.
that there might never be an American Pope. But do you even understand why that was the sentiment?
No, I have no idea. Tell me, Gary.
Well, after World War II, America had become a superpower. And there was a real concern within the Roman Catholic Church that as the United States is becoming a global power, that it would be counterproductive for the rest of the world, specifically Europe, to then also give the United States the Pope, a Pope, because it would
too much power.
Increasingly consolidate power in the United States of America. And that was the biggest reason we had never had an American Pope.
I'm so grateful you explained that to me.
I think you explained it better.
No, I thought
45 seconds ago.
you explained it better. Absolutely. You added the World War II element. I thought this was just.
Oh no, it really became a thing after World
American
War II.
exceptionalism really took over.
See, I could have sounded so smart if I'd have just saved that question for Bennett.
It's okay. It's early in the off season. There's plenty of opportunities for trivia. Can you tell me what the smallest city is in the world?
What is the
the smallest country?
Monaco.
I got this wrong.
The smallest country in the world?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm right. Okay.
Is it an island?
No, this is so easy. It's what we're literally talking about.
Oh, the Vatican.
It's Vatican City.
Vatican City.
Oh.
It's on my knowledgeable questions.
Oh, yeah. I forgot you're a knowledgeable questionnaire now.
Hey, don't think, just because I get to ask Bennett questions, don't think you get to come in here and just ask Bennett questions to make yourself.
Sorry, I just am constantly chasing the high of the day that we did state capitals.
Bennett, what's the state capital of Minnesota right now?
Minnesota is, I'm guessing it's not Minneapolis. Is it Minneapolis?
No.
Is it Minneapolis? It's not Minneapolis?
Bennett?
We're so back.
Bennett?
The capital of Minnesota is...
It's 2 words. It's also kind of Pope adjacent.
You didn't know either. You had to look.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure.
How's it not Minneapolis?
It's Pope adjacent.
Because it's the other city.
It's St. Paul.
Oh, yeah. St. Paul. Okay. Damn it.
St. Paul.
See? This is why I save all my questions for Bennett.
It's so fun.
All right, I gotta let you go.
Right, go talk about Jordan Hudson.
Get out of here.
All right, yeah, we gotta talk about Jordan Hudson.
About Jordan Hudson.
We gotta talk about Jordan Hudson. She's either banned from North Carolina's football facility or she's not, depending on who you believe.
Oh, there's a counter argument?
Oh, there's
I can't wait to listen.
Reports have been refuted on the ground in Chapel Hill. North Carolina has denied that she is banned from the football facility, but Pablo Torre says that she is. Who do you believe? We'll discuss it next on the Gary Parrish Show, presented by OrthoSouth.
We're going to do our pick six favorite Outkast songs in honor of Outkast being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Elevators is the most creative.
Me and you.
Yes. Your mama and your cousin too.
And I can't, every time I hear somebody say me and you, I
just go to the next one, right?
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
The other thing that came out this week that we were talking about innovation and Nike and all that, they dropped these $900 hyper boots that
900.
I mean, they're a recovery shoe apparently that you wear after sports, whatever.
Who's buying it? Because all the athletes that we see, they're going to get seated this. So who's going to actually pay $900 for this?
The Sneak Fest Show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app. Grizz Nation gets set for tip-off 1 hour before every Grizzlies home game with the warm-up show. Get the latest news, notes, and analysis live from courtside at FedEx Forum.
Who's going to be the tougher team that rebounds and prevents second-chance opportunities?
Join me, Lang Whitaker, along with Michael Wallace, Jessica Benson, and other personalities from Grind City Media, Memphis, and around the NBA. 1 hour before every home game, live at Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
Orthopedic injuries can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled, and OrthoSouth understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either. And that's because OrthoSouth welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays in the evenings and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in, and OrthoSouth will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's OrthoSouth at orthosouth.org. Now, I got 5 more things you need to know.
Number 1.
Bill Belichick's 24-year-old girlfriend, Jordan Hudson, has reportedly been banned from North Carolina's football facilities. That's according to a podcast from the great Pablo Torre this morning.
I love those. That image with just the big band. I love that. It gets me every time.
North Carolina has subsequently released a statement, and they said, not so fast, my friend. Jordan Hudson is not a university employee, but she is still in charge of Coach Belichick's personal business dealings, and in no way, shape, or form has she been, quote, banned from North Carolina's football facility. Who do you trust here, Bennett? North Carolina's administration or Pablo Torre?
I think that this probably falls somewhere in the middle, like we like to say sometimes. I would be willing to bet that there was probably a conversation had that was like, hey, look, we're really glad you're here. We're excited about the season. You got to tell your girlfriend to chill out a little bit. This is getting really blown up. Can we just like calm it down a tad? That's what I bet happened.
I guarantee you a conversation was...
Yes.
A conversation happened. I bet you it stops short of banning, because here's the thing. You wouldn't want to have to ban. You don't even want that ever. You don't want this day.
No, and then Belichick probably was like, all right, then I quit. Like,
Well, you just don't ever want it to be banned. You just want, this is the way that conversation go. Yes, I have the power as your boss to sit down and say, your girlfriend doesn't need to be here anymore. She is not allowed at the facility. I guess I can do that. But if we're going to try to have a good working relationship, that ain't the way to do it. The way you do it is you sit down with your football coach and you say, you realize, like, I don't have to tell you, this is getting complicated, right? You know that. I mean, you've got the internet too, right?
Mm-hmm. They're saying she's running our football program.
We've got to get this.
Yeah.
We have to get this under control, right? So how you want to do this? You have that conversation.
Yeah.
You don't go in and say, Bill, your girlfriend's banned from the football facility. You make him understand how her being around as often as she is and as visible as she is not good for anybody, most notably you. You don't have to ban her. You have to make him understand this is not going well, and it needs to stop. Not because I tell you you must stop, but because I help you understand why it should. And I bet you they've gotten there. I bet you they've gotten to that point, because the whole thing, and we've talked about it a million times, is just bizarre. It would be bizarre if it happened in this workplace.
Mm-hmm.
If any old man who works around here got divorced and got a girlfriend 50 years younger than him, and that girlfriend was just around the office every day, even though she does not work here, that would be the craziest thing you've ever heard of.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you're Bill Belichick, Jordan Hudson, or anybody connected in North Carolina, that's the thing you have to remember. Don't get so close to it that you can't see it for what it is. It's bananas.
Mm-hmm.
It's bananas. But if you... But like, if you got single...
Don't drag me into this.
If you got single and start showing up every day with an 18-year-old woman who was just sitting over here off camera, I would be like...
Get her out of here.
Well, on day one, I'd be like, hey, it's good to see you.
Mm-hmm.
But after about probably by the end of day one, I'd be like, all right, that was weird, man. What's going on?
Mm.
Like, can't you put her in daycare or something? All right. Put her in daycare. But she can't be sitting here looking at me every day.
Yeah.
All right? That's weird.
That's fine. Yeah.
All right? I don't think they had to ban her.
I don't think they had to ban her either.
I think once the CBS Sunday Morning thing happened, everybody knows you got to recalibrate this whole deal.
Yeah, for sure. JB made a good point. Like, it could get weird there quick. Like, it could. I mean, if he loses early, it could get weird quick. Because this story will never go.
Goes brilliantly.
Yeah. Because, people are just going to look for is he distracted? The first time they lose, is he distracted?
Yeah.
Like, can he do this at the college level?
And it might just be, he might not be great at North Carolina for the exact same reason, like almost nobody's ever been great at North Carolina.
Mm.
But it will not be that simple. That will not be the way it's described. If he struggles at North Carolina, it will be because he has a 24-year-old girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
It might just be because he doesn't have Tom Brady. He's basically forever struggled as a football coach without Tom Brady. But it'll be labeled, all of this is now a part of his story one way or another. It's like actually insane that they've gotten it to this place to where this is such a constant topic of conversation in American sports. Bill Belichick and his girlfriend, who's 49 years younger than him. But here we are. Now you just got to keep it in the background. If I were Bill Belichick's friend, you know what I would say? I'd say a lot. But the main thing I'd say right now is we should try to get to the season opener without another headline connected to your personal relationship. Yep. All right?
This needs to be about you being a Hall of Fame football coach, leading our program.
Not saying you need to break up with her. Not saying you need to there doesn't need to be any more headlines connected to her. She needs to not be in the background. That's not the right way to put it. You don't tell somebody they need to keep their relationship secretive, but it just needs to be not as... We need football headlines, Bill Belichick headlines. We don't need relationship headlines. There's been too many of those. When people think of you right now, they don't think of a successful, accomplished football coach. You're getting made fun of on Saturday Night Live. And it's not because you're wearing hoodies with cut off sleeves anymore. It's because of this. We need to get that out of the.
Yeah.
We need to make it where Saturday Night Live doesn't even think about you ever again. We got to get to that place. I bet you can have that conversation with him, and he's on some level understanding of that.
For sure.
I look forward to Pablo Torre's response.
He did respond, by the way.
Pablo Torre did?
Yeah, he did. JB just posted it in the chat. He said, we requested comment and filed dozens of FOI. What is that? FOIA?
Freedom of Information Act requests.
Request that were not satisfied, and we stand by the specific reporting in our episode, which came from highest levels of the football program. So there you go.
Hey, I'll let them figure it out.
Yeah, sounds good.
None of my business.
Number 2.
Rafael Devers continues to be a difficult employee for the Boston Red Sox. Are you following the story at all?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. So Rafael Devers, all-star level baseball player, has been playing third base for the Boston Red Sox. In the offseason, they signed Alex Bregman.
Yes.
He's the new third baseman. And among those who did not like this was Rafael Devers. He felt like they took his job and gave it to somebody else. And they were like, they'd even asked him at different points, like, could you move to, and he was like, no, I'm going to play third base. I'm the third baseman. This was the story throughout the offseason after they signed Bregman. I'm the third baseman. Well, then they got to spring training. They're like, you're not the third baseman. He's the third baseman. You're the DH now. So he said, fine, I'm the DH. I'll just put my glove up. I guess I'm a DH now. And he's been a frustrated designated hitter. Their first baseman just suffered an injury. And the most obvious thing to do, if you're the Boston Red Sox, is move Rafael Devers to first base.
Yep.
So they asked him to move to first base, and you know what he said?
No.
He said no. He said, you told me to put my glove up. I put my He's acting like he doesn't have a glove. Not literally, but that's what he's saying things like, you told me to put my glove up, so I put my glove up, so I don't have my glove anymore. Can't play first base.
It's kind of crazy too because they're actually good. Like they've
Yes.
turned this thing around. They've been kind of down the past couple seasons, and they've actually appeared to have turned it around.
He's just pouting.
Yeah.
He's just pouting. They need him to play first base now. And he said they can't just expect. He's saying things like this. Well, you can't just expect me to just play wherever, whenever.
Yeah, we can.
Yes, we can.
We actually can do that. Yes.
You realize the Dodgers do this with Mookie Betts?
Right.
They move Mookie Betts all over the field.
Yep.
Mookie Betts be playing shortstop, be playing left field. Mookie Betts is like, just tell me what you need me to do. I'll go do it. And then Rafael Devers is like, I'm the third baseman. Well, no, we've got a new third baseman. Well, then I'm not playing anywhere. Okay, just be the DH then. Fine. All right, our first baseman's hurt. We need you to play first base.
No.
Nope. No. I don't know how it gets resolved. I just love the idea that a baseball player is being told to play first base.
I do too.
And he's just saying, no, I'm not going to play. Like, this is the Boston Red Sox are there's a time in every person's life where your reality is something you dreamed about. If you ever accomplish anything, the thing you're experiencing now is something you dreamed about once upon a time.
Yep.
Imagine once upon a time, right? Hey, you're only 11 years old. But what if I told you by the age of 28, you'll be a 3-time All-Star playing for the Boston Red Sox? Amazing.
Are you serious? Yeah.
I'd kill for that. All right. But they're going to ask you to play first base, and you're going to throw a fit about it.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
It's crazy.
It's wild how you get to that point, right?
Yes.
The thing you used to dream about would be a dream come true.
Yep.
It becomes something that you're complaining about nonstop. There's a lesson in there.
I think there is a lesson in there somewhere.
There's a lesson in there somewhere, but I'm going to let you figure it out on your own.
Yeah, I like the turmoil
I'm
in
going
their
to let you figure
organization.
that. I'm going to let you figure that out on your own.
Number 3.
Okay, you remember Brian Kohlberger, the fella allegedly
I'm very familiar.
Stabbed those 4 Idaho students.
I am very
to
familiar.
death in November 2022.
Yeah, a long time ago.
It's
Can we
been a
get the
minute.
show on the road? Like, let's do this.
Okay, so Dateline tonight.
Yeah.
Special shouts to Dateline tonight. Brand new episode. It's a 1-hour special edition of Dateline. We used to preview these. It will focus on this case, and there's new evidence that has emerged.
Because when's the trial?
It's coming up.
I was going to say, it's got to be soon. I know that there was a big...
And he's facing the death penalty.
Because I know that the parents were very upset that it was going to get delayed so long, right? When all this went down, like we knew that the trial was going to be years away, and it has been years away.
But
we're on our way now.
Okay.
All right. Have you seen the new evidence?
No.
Oh, there's new evidence.
What's going on?
It's not good. Brian Kohlberger, they got his cell phone.
Okay.
Do you know what he was searching?
What?
In the days and weeks leading up to the murders?
How to kill people.
More or less. Ted Bundy. He was doing searches on Ted Bundy.
Okay.
Buddy, you don't want to be searching for serial killers right before you're charged with killing 4 Idaho students, do you? That's not good.
I mean, have I ever looked up Ted Bundy on Google? Yeah, I think probably so. But when you're accused of brutally murdering people,
It's tough.
I think that's something you don't want to Google.
I watched the Netflix documentary on that Long Island serial killer.
Was it good?
Yeah.
It was good?
Yeah, it was good.
Okay.
It was interesting in the sense that
I need a new doc.
My main takeaway, it was 3 parts, easy watch. My main takeaway is they should have caught this guy. I told you this, I think.
Yeah.
They have a guy who literally told police, I think the person you're looking for is this guy who had hired this girl who I knew. He's like 6'6", 1 million pound, big ogre looking guy, and he drives this very unusual kind of truck.
Uh-huh.
If they would have just in that moment taken this word seriously and just searched for people in a 50-mile radius who drive that truck and then who fit the description physically of this man, they would have nailed this. They would have had him just like that.
Mm-hmm.
There was like one person who fit the description of the man who drove a truck like that in the area. One. It was this guy. All they had to do was look for the guy that, hey, I think I know who you're looking for. Find this truck, find somebody who fits this physical description, that's your guy. And they just never looked.
Wow.
All right? So it's good. So anyway, I watched this documentary, and then I start Googling some stuff, and I'm like, oh, God, this is some crazy stuff to have in my Google search, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I know I'm not going to kill, I'm not a serial killer.
Right.
So, like, they're not going to have to, I'm not going to be accused of killing 4 people anytime soon or ever, I don't think. I don't have any plans. I don't have any plans.
Yeah, I got you.
So but the last thing you want to do if you're getting ready to go kill 4 students is be searching stuff like Ted Bundy on your phone.
Yeah.
And his Pornhub searches were not good.
Oh, really?
He had some rough Pornhub searches.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like
Be careful.
Yeah, it was just rough.
Maybe you don't want to say that into the microphone.
It was rough stuff.
Okay.
It was rough stuff.
Yeah. I think I know where this is headed.
And there's video surveillance of a white car circling the home.
Mm-hmm. He was in a white car. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think he's going to make it out of this.
I don't think he's going to make it out of this either. I really do.
Do you think he's jealous of Luigi?
Well,
Luigi killed a man, and the whole world wants to have sex with him.
Uh-huh.
And Brian Kohlberger killed 4 people, and the whole world's like, you deserve the death penalty. You think he's jealous of Luigi? You think he's sitting behind bars going, why does everyone want to have sex with Luigi, and they want to put me lethal injection? What's the deal? He thinks that every once in a while?
There's a lot of weird people out there. I bet there's some people that are into him.
Like, he's a good-looking guy.
I bet he has fans.
Do you think he's a good-looking guy? Do you think Brian Kohlberger's a good-looking man?
Sure.
He is good-looking man.
I guarantee you he has gotten letters.
You think he's got letters?
That like of positivity.
But not as many as Luigi.
Admirers.
But not as many as Luigi.
Definitely not.
Do you think he's jealous of Luigi?
Yeah, I bet he's probably not even thinking about Luigi right now.
I bet you...
He's probably got a lot else on his mind.
I know, but there's 24 hours in the day.
That's true.
What else are you going to think about? I bet you there's a moment...
There might be some jealousy there.
I bet you there's a moment where he was like, I don't get why everybody wants to bang Luigi instead of me. We're both killers. We're both good looking. Why does everybody want to bang Luigi but not me? That's the type of thing I would be thinking about.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's the type of... I don't think this guy...
I don't know if that dude thinks like we do.
I don't think he's going to make it out of this. There's too much evidence against him, it sounds like.
Yeah, let's get the trial going.
Let's get the trial going.
Yeah.
Innocent until proven guilty, but it ain't looking good for him.
No.
It's definitely not looking good for him.
Number 4.
Manny Pacquiao's coming out of retirement.
This doesn't seem like a good idea.
Sounds like somebody needs a paycheck.
That's probably true.
46 years old.
Who's he going to fight?
Doesn't matter.
I mean, if he wants to really get a paycheck, okay, I don't know who that is.
Who you want him to fight?
I mean, if he wants to get paid, he should fight a Paul brother.
fight Jake Paul.
Yeah, if he's looking for a real paycheck.
Jake Paul would kill Manny Pacquiao. He weighs 200 pounds heavier than him.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's all a gimmick.
Maybe it's all a gimmick.
Yeah.
Manny Pacquiao fought Floyd Mayweather 10 years ago. And do you know what people said after that fight? He's too old.
Yeah.
And that was 10 years ago.
That's true.
This is the biggest problem with boxing. Not the biggest problem with boxing, but a problem with boxing. If you're willing to put gloves on and you can get a state commission to sanction a fight, you never, I don't say you never have to walk away, but like Manny Pacquiao can make a paycheck fighting at the age of 46. Like at the age of 46, you can't make an NBA team. So like if Kevin Garnett decided he wanted to play basketball again.
Yeah, too bad.
Too bad. You can't, nobody's giving you a job. But if you're Manny Pacquiao or Mike Tyson, you still got name recognition. You could just get back in a ring and people will buy it and you'll make a paycheck. But you put yourself at real risk of getting hurt. And like, people will buy it, but who wants to see this? Who wants to see old ass Manny Pacquiao fight again?
That's the thing. Like, I'm just, I'm with you. It's for a title, too. Jeez.
And this is the other problem with boxing is that Manny Pacquiao is still one of the most recognizable names in the sport.
Yeah.
Do you know?
No.
Okay. Like,
no, I have no idea. I really don't. I know, like, who Jake Paul fights.
And this is a problem.
Yeah. And like I'll stumble into like some fights on ESPN every now and again and enjoy it. Like it's enjoyable, but I don't know who any of the fighters are.
I think for the first time in my lifetime,
I know Canelo.
Okay, you know Canelo, and there will be a big fight. I think it's in September.
He's got one coming up
with Terrence Crawford.
Yes,
Terrence Crawford's.
I know Terrence Crawford.
Right.
Yeah.
Terrence Crawford's pretty famous, American fighter. Canelo's famous, but for the first time maybe in my lifetime, there's not a household name in boxing. Like when I was a kid, you had Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler. Then you have Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield. Then you get Roy Jones, Antonio Tarver. Then you get into the Floyd Mayweather. And nobody's really taken that and run with it.
Yep.
The pound for pound best fighter in the world right now, if you do the pound for pound rankings, who's the best fighter in the world? At different points in time, this would be Floyd Mayweather, Roy Jones, Sugar Ray Leonard, Canelo. Right now, it is Alexander Usyk, a Ukrainian heavyweight. You've never heard that name?
No.
I'm mostly unfamiliar with him as well. The best fighter in the world, according to most people's rankings, is a heavyweight, and nobody knows who he is.
I think, too, like the
heavyweight champion of the world used to be the most famous.
Biggest thing, yeah.
Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Used to be the biggest thing in the world. Now we just don't even know these people are.
Even recently was the, who were the brothers? The
Klitschko brothers.
Yeah, the Klitschko brothers. Yeah.
Like they were at least famous.
They were famous.
Yeah.
Yes, they were famous.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, too, like, they've kind of lost the networks. Like ESPN is in the UFC business.
I think UFC plays a role in this. And another issue. So Terrence Crawford is probably the most famous, best American fighter working today. Two issues. He rarely fights.
Right.
And do you know the last time he fought off of pay-per-view? 2016. It's been nearly a decade since you can just turn on a television and watch Terrence Crawford fight. So boxing has set up this weird business model where you're asking people to pay $100, whatever, to watch somebody
that you've never seen.
That they've never seen.
Yeah. It's like, because even with UFC, like they have a pay-per-view this weekend. It's not my favorite card. I probably won't order this one, but like next week they'll have a fight night that's free on ESPN, and so you get to at least experience it. And it's lesser cards, but you still get to see it for free.
Imagine if Patrick Mahomes, Steph Curry, Shohei Ohtani had not been on normal television for the past decade. The only way to ever watch them do the thing that they do so brilliantly is to pay $100 extra to watch them do it once a year. Here's $100 out of my pocket to watch you do this thing once a year. That's Terrence Crawford.
Yeah.
Well, how do you build a fan base?
You can't.
Yeah. How do you build a fan base? You can't. That's like there's a lot of problems with boxing. That's right near the top of the list. Either way, Manny Pacquiao, he's going to fight later on this year at the age of 46. We wish him luck.
Yep.
Number 5.
And then wasn't planning on talking Pope stuff with Jessica.
Oh, yeah, we kind of already covered this.
I think we pretty much covered it. But jokingly yesterday, because I do this sometimes, I'll take stories and I'll put them together, and then I'll just ask a ridiculous question. Like, do you think Brian Kohlberger is jealous of Luigi?
Right.
Something like that. So we're talking about Jalen Brunson being amazing yesterday. And then we find out at the end of the show that we have a new Pope, but we don't know who the Pope is. And I was like, Bennett, you think it could be Jalen Brunson? And we were like, oh. I was closer than I thought.
That's actually pretty insane. I mean, did you even know that there was a candidate for was it the Papa? How do you say it? The papacy? The papacy?
I'm going to let you handle that.
I think that's what you call it. The papacy?
I just call him the Pope.
Is that right?
I call him the Pope. You can call him whatever you want. I call him the Pope.
Did you even know there was a candidate that was A, American, and B, went to Villanova?
The only thing I knew about the Pope this time yesterday was that there was a candidate from the Philippines.
Yeah.
That's all I knew. And then look at that fella. He's from Chicago.
How about that, man?
He's from Chicago, just like Chance the Rapper.
Also spent a lot of time
Turns
in
out
Peru.
it could have been, like Chance the Rapper could have been our next Pope.
Spent a lot of time in Peru. Turns out we have a lot in common.
You and the Pope.
Yeah.
Both been to Peru.
Yeah.
What else?
I mean, I like teams that never win championships.
So he likes the Bears, and you like the Orioles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
have you devoted your life to God?
I mean,
not like this.
Not like that.
Not like this.
Not like that.
This man's never washing machined. You know that, right?
That's probably true.
I mean, he says it's true.
I mean, that's definitely true.
I mean, I don't think he's ever verbalized it, but
yeah,
I think it's got to be true.
I think that's what we have in common. You know,
Derrick Rose and this man come from the same place.
That's true. That's true.
What if Derrick Rose was our new Pope? Wouldn't that be something?
I think he'd be great at it.
He would be.
He's great.
I think he would be a good Pope. I think Derrick Rose would be a good Pope.
It is kind of wild, man. Like when me and JB were talking about, like, this is one of those things that, you know, anything newsworthy that's like announced on social media or whatever, there's like the positive and the negative, right? That yesterday felt like just like a fun day, you know?
You had a good day yesterday?
It just felt like everyone was, maybe not everyone, but it did feel like everyone was rallying around this story in this country, if you will.
We like having an American Pope. First one
I think
ever.
it's cool.
It's nice to have an American Pope.
I agree. I wonder if he's going to come visit.
Yeah, I think he will.
He'll come visit.
I mean,
he'll come back.
Well, I think the American Pope's going to come back to America at some point.
Yeah.
He'll probably be at the Villanova Creighton game in January.
Could you imagine?
The Pope goes to a Villanova Creighton game?
Bro, the Pope costumes in Philadelphia, you're not going to be able to find one. Wait till the first Villanova home game.
What if you put
everyone's going to be dressed as the Pope?
What if you put a Villanova Creighton game on CBS Sports Network and I'm on the sideline and they ask me to go get a one-on-one with the Pope?
It's not that far-fetched.
It's not that far-fetched.
I doubt it would happen, but that is definitely within the realm of possibility.
It's within the realm of possibility.
Like, I don't think that's going to happen for you, but it could.
It could happen.
If he's there and you're going to be there, they're going to at least, your producers are at least going to tell you, hey,
you gotta
if
give
there's
it a
any
shot.
way.
You give it a shot.
I know it's probably unlikely,
That's right.
but just check with someone.
But then I'll call Jay Wright, and then Jay can reach out to the Pope, because you know Jay has to know the Pope.
Sure.
So I'll get Jay to talk.
He was probably cheering for that. Yeah, of course he knows him.
So I'll get Jay.
I bet they've talked.
I'm going to get Jay to connect me with the new Pope.
This could happen.
I'm happy for Chicago, too.
First, you got to get that assignment.
Yeah.
Get that assignment. I would work on that now, because that's going to be a hot assignment.
They're probably
You're going to have some competition for that one.
They're probably going to want Jenny Dale on that.
You're going to have some competition
They're
for that one.
probably going to want Jenny Dale on that.
I would send an email today.
I feel like Tracy Wolfson's going to end up on that game.
Yeah.
I feel like that's going to be a Tracy Wolfson game.
It could be. Could be.
I'll be at the Naval Academy for the veterans class.
Yeah.
That's more my speed.
You never know.
You never know. Happy for Chicago. It's been a rough year for Chicago.
Has it?
Well, Kanye's lost his mind.
Oh, yeah. Yikes.
Lil Durk's in jail.
Yeah. None of their teams can win. None of their teams can win anything.
But they got a Pope.
but they do have a pope.
Can't win them all.
I think you'd take Pope over sports victories.
Would you be willing to lose Kanye and Lil Durk? But you get a pope.
Yeah.
You're a Chicago native. I can give you a pope, but you have to sacrifice Kanye and Lil Durk. You willing to do that?
Yeah.
I'm not. I would not have. I would undo it.
Well, Kanye sacrificed himself. I don't know if you've Google Kanye if you want to know. Yeah.
I've unplugged.
He's lost his mind.
I went from knowing everything that he does to now I know nothing about it. I just blocked and unfollowed everything. I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know. I just rather not know. Like people keep asking me, have you heard this new song? No, I've heard nothing.
It's wild.
I unplugged from everything.
Even for Kanye, it is it's wild.
Well, I'm happy for Chicago.
Yeah, me too.
I'm happy for Chicago. They bounced back. They lost a generational artist to appears mental illness and possibly drug addiction. But they got a pope.
Yeah.
It all balances out.
Good.
For something. Be back with GP's Carryout.
We're going to do our pick six favorite Outkast songs in honor of Outkast being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Elevators is the most creative.
Me and you.
Yes. Your mama and your cousin too.
Every time I hear somebody say me and you, I
just go to the next one, right?
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Bain drives. Oh yeah. Close. He hits and the Grizzlies have the lead. Yeah! Jaron with a knockaway. Good defense. Durant attacking, spinning, hanging, and hitting. Let's go!
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
I need cameras to capture every waking moment between Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston on the same team. The pregame prayers will be generational.
Because that's preacher and a deacon. That's what we're talking about here. That prayer's going to be 40 minutes. We're going to miss the anthem.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
How about Mr. Irrelevant coming from the Memphis Tigers? Yeah, how about that? New England Patriots
Second time.
Memphis defensive back Kobe Minor with the 257th overall pick.
If you're the player getting drafted at that spot, it's almost better to go undrafted and pick a place as an undrafted free agent to sign with where you have a better chance.
But you get a lot of stuff. You get a parade. I think you go to Disneyland, I believe.
Mr. Irrelevant goes to Disney?
I think so.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Welcome back, Gary Parrish Show, presented by OrthoSouth. Let's wrap this up with GP's Carryout.
It's time for GP's Carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we learn today?
A whole bunch of stuff, but in the opening segment, we mostly focused on the renewal of a rivalry in the sport of men's basketball, Memphis and Louisville. After having not played since 2017, haven't been in the same conference since 2014, will renew their rivalry starting this December. 6-year series, home and home, between the Tigers and the Cardinals. First game will be played at the Yum Center. in December next season. Back in downtown Memphis inside FedEx Forum.
Love it.
Dates and locations for the subsequent 4 games after the first 2. TBD.
Let's keep them at our home arenas.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not trying to neutral this.
No, we don't need to play you in Nashville.
Pointless, yeah.
I want the games in downtown Memphis or in Louisville.
Yes.
I don't need no neutral court anything. We're going to do them in Memphis and Louisville.
Yes.
That would be my request. This is a series I grew up with, a series most Memphians around my age cared about deeply in the 70s and 80s and even into the 2000s, with the most high-profile, most recent game being that 2005 CUSA Tournament Championship game where Darius Washington missed the free throws with zeros on the clock that gave Louisville the trophy and the auto bid to the NCAA tournament. Memphis was reduced to playing in the NIT before John Calipari went on a run of 4 straight Sweet 16s. Memphis-Louisville, series renewed. Congrats to Penny Hardaway and Pat Kelsey for getting it done.
What's today's biggest game?
I'm taking you to Denver, Ball Arena. It's
Okay.
Ball Arena. Series is tied 1-1. It's the Thunder and the Nuggets. ESPN, 9 o'clock. OKC, 5.5-point favorite on the road. Totals 232.5. How you going to act?
Man, it probably, I'm going to go Nuggets. I don't feel great about it. I tend to believe that last game was more of a veteran team saying, hey, we got game 1. That's what we came here to do. I don't think that Oklahoma City is that much better than them. That's what I'm going to say.
43 points better in game 2.
I know. I think bounce back from Denver tonight. I don't know if they win, but I think they cover.
Bennett is predicting a bounce-back performance from the Nuggets tonight, and Nikola Jokic, he's taken the 5.5 points. Tips at 9 o'clock. It's on ESPN.
What are we watching on TV?
Okay, it's the last SmackDown before Backlash.
Yep.
John Cena will make an appearance tonight on USA Network.
Okay, I can get down with that.
Jay Cargill.
I have no idea what's happening at Backlash.
Well, you saw the other night Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. They're wreaking havoc.
They are wreaking havoc.
They're wreaking havoc. But CM Punk decided to jump out. He wreaked a little havoc. And there's some thought that this is going to turn into a 3-on-3 thing. We got to figure out who's on each side, but there's a lot of havoc being wreaked right now.
Yeah.
Jay Cargill, Nia Jax, to determine who's the number 1 contender for Tiffany Stratton's belt. That's tonight on SmackDown.
I can get down with that.
I can get down with that.
Yeah.
I can get down with that. And then, of course, tonight is the Brian Kohlberger Dateline episode, 8 o'clock on NBC.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to watch SmackDown. I'm on SmackDown tonight. I'm on SmackDown and playoffs tonight.
Playoff basketball, SmackDown, Dateline, Mets, Cubs.
Let's go. I don't like baseball anymore, but let's go.
This is maybe the best Friday night we've had in a while.
It is a pretty good Friday. It's
pretty good Friday night. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to have a good time with it.
What's the best thing we've read?
Over at CBSSports.com right now, they got all the updates on the North Carolina Bill Belichick, Jordan Hudson debacle. Pablo Torre reporting this morning that she's been banned from the football facility. North Carolina releasing a statement saying she hasn't. I'll let you figure out who to believe, but broadly speaking, this should be a concern. If you're the University of North Carolina, did you ever think you'd be sending out press releases?
No.
About your football coach's girlfriend?
Probably not.
Has that ever happened anywhere else?
I don't think so.
Have you ever heard of the University of Memphis releasing a statement about Ryan Silverfield's girlfriend?
No.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Why are you... Like, if I could just put my arm around my friends at North Carolina, I would say, you realize you've reached a point where you're releasing statements about your coach's girlfriend.
It's a tough spot.
Dean Smith used to coach here. Did you ever have to release a statement about Dean Smith's 24-year-old girlfriend? Imagine if Dean Smith had a 24-year-old girlfriend. Imagine, are you ready? Imagine if Roy Williams just showed up with a 24-year-old girlfriend. You can't even imagine that.
No.
But that's what's happening. It's a wild situation.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
You can read about it. It's on the homepage right now, cbssports.com.
What's on tap next week?
Hey, the draft lottery's Monday night.
So it is.
By the time we get in here on Tuesday, we'll know who's selecting Cooper Flagg with the number 1 pick in the 2025 NBA draft.
Okay.
So it should be a fun week. NBA draft lottery, NBA playoffs. I can't wait. Enjoy your weekend. I'll try to enjoy mine. We'll meet back here Monday at 10. Till then, be careful. Be kind. Be good. Rep your hood.